To sing.
All right, we are live. Hello, all of my baby baby Benny Boo Boo babies. This is still comfy with the Natalie Katona and Jules Washington. I'm
Excuse me.
Natalie
Did you mean Princess Sophia?
Princess Sophia's and King Crawls. I'm your host of To All the Men I've Tolerated Before, Natalie Katona. Your weekly look at everyday misogyny is the tagline of my show, and I forgot to say it. And this is my co-host.
Hi, friends. I'm Julia Washington, the host of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of race or gender, and sometimes both.
And we're going to talk about one of my favorite movies that came out when I was the ripe old age of like 14, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Which
You're
recently
so vain.
had a 20-year anniversary that I didn't know until I stumbled upon Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey having a reunion via Instagram Live.
When was the Instagram Live?
I texted you about it.
Recently?
No, it wasn't recently. It was like months ago. It was like February.
Oh, okay.
If not January.
Life's hard.
All right. I can do a recap probably.
I'm waving.
I'm waving.
Hold on. We're getting it to you. Now, everybody who isn't there, you can't hear Natalie, but join us on YouTube on Men I've Tolerated Pod YouTube. I know, it's so sad they can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Remind everyone that if you're here with us in the studio, you have to comment so I can tell you hello, or else I can't tell that you're here.
You didn't hear any of that, friends, on the
Oh
Insta.
my goodness.
But you know what that means?
I'm being so charming.
Go to YouTube and find us. Go to the YouTube Men I've Tolerated Pod's YouTube channel to hear everything Natalie just said. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what does this take place in New York or does it take place in San Francisco?
Manhattan.
It takes place in Manhattan. So in a little known town of Manhattan, we have two very attractive people. We have a woman named Andy who works at a glamorous magazine called, it's not called Contour.
Composure.
Composure.
You're so vain.
You're so vain. And she is our lucky little how-to girl. She writes header. I'm gonna compose myself. No, didn't I just ask you if I was having an issue?
You did. Tired. Now I'm very concerned. I'm in a different city time zone. I can't rush to your aid.
It feels like I've been on my period for 2 years. I had a very long St. Patrick's Day weekend. There is still glitter in my hair.
Oh, but I do kind of love that there's glitter in the world.
There wasn't any glitter in my hair that I purposely put there. It was all on my face, and then it ended up in my hands, in my hair, and on my arms.
Did you do Katie's tip of using tape?
That was a really great tip. If I had maybe had just done like a little swoop of glitter on my cheeks, but I literally just used it as foundation. I didn't use it as a foundation, but I just kept applying it.
Yeah, so I just kind of feel like you walked into this. Then this is.
So in a little known city in Manhattan, we have two very attractive white people. Their names are Andy and Benny, played by the Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. Oh, hey, hey, hey.
All right.
Andy works for a women's magazine that is drafted over the Vogues and the Cosmos of the world. It's called Composure. She's our resident how-to girl. She's giving us the heavy hitters like how to talk 10 ways to talk your way out of a ticket, how to feng shui your apartment, and of course, how to lose a guy in 10 days. On the other side of Manhattan, we have Matthew McConaughey. His name is Benny. He's an admin, much like Don Draper. What's that?
I'm trying to get the background vocals of the song because you said Ben. So I don't want my voice to carry and get in the way of you telling the recap.
I thought you were trying to signal to me that I forgot something about Benny.
No, I'm so sorry.
And Benny does ad things. He wants to break into the diamond world because it has money. Watch our still companies on Mad Men next week if you want to hear about what ad people do.
Who apparently have the same budgets in 1965 as they do in 2003.
They eventually both have a bet. It's a very separate bet. Andy has to lose a guy in 10 days in order to gain the freedom to write everything she wants to in a magazine. And Ben has to make a woman fall in love with him in a week or in 10 days before this party so he can be a diamond seller. And both of
Diamonds
their
are
bets are
forever.
the exact opposite. And somehow those crazy kids fall in love anyways. And that's how to lose a guy in 10 days. Jules, let's get into it.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Where do you want to start?
I would like to start with I will say that this whole the only way we know how to make a woman in media look like she cares about her job and her job is important is to make her be like, I just wish I got to choose what it was I was writing on.
Religion?
Politics?
I'm sorry, ma'am, you work at Composure, which is basically Cosmopolitan,
Right.
but in your land.
Everyone put in the comments your favorite political piece from the Cosmopolitan. Okay? That's not going to help our views at all because there are no political takes in Cosmo. The most political it gets is like, are you needy or are you a pick-me girl? Find out now.
Here's a quiz.
Here's a quiz.
I don't know what I would have done without those Cosmo quizzes.
So, it's such a tired out, storyline because it's like, of course, this is what we do to women who have jobs. We just are like, we love our jobs and we went to school and yet they won't let us do what we're meant to do.
Yeah. Isn't that cute? Because, everybody who writes every article for every publication, especially in 2003, because the internet was still fairly newish, was thrilled about the assignments they received.
Right. And you know what? I would love to spend my days just writing little how-to guides to how to make your cat fall in love with you.
How to make your cat fall in love with me.
Oh. But I have a riddle.
I'm ready.
Is it misogyny for believing that women want to read about 10 ways to do things geared towards them, like fashion and beauty? Or is it misogyny that the things women do read are made to believe to be fluff in this movie and aren't religion, politics, and the Midwest? Or not the Midwest, the Middle East. It's not great in the Midwest here either. Tennessee outlawed drag.
Yeah.
It still fits.
And left who can get married to the discretion of whoever's handling your paperwork that day, which includes but is not limited to same-sex couples and interracial couples and interfaith couples. So that's fun. I think it's both.
It is
Can I
both.
say both?
Yeah. I think the misogyny in the beginning of this movie is so gray because Benny is on the run to literally steal Benny Boo Boo Hoo.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm on today. Go ahead.
Benny Boo Hoo Woo Woo, Benny Winnie Woo Woo.
Is it bigger? Is it little?
We don't know. And we never do.
We never find out, actually.
Matthew McConaughey, please weigh in. Is it a crawl? Is it a Princess Sophia?
Or your wife. Have your wife tell us.
Can we get the police reports from when he played his bongo drums naked in his yard and the neighbors called the cops?
Actually, you can. It's called the Freedom of Information Act allows you to access anybody's records or any information at all.
If someone could DM those to me, it'd be the only DM I'd want today. So anyways, Benny Woo Woo is literally fighting for his life to steal a job from two women. And I'm like, that seems wrong.
Right? The Jennies, because they're both named Jenny.
The Jennies. And I was like, Matthew McConaughey, you can't just...
Sorry,
And
go
they're
ahead.
both women of color. Is that where you're going?
No, I was gonna say they're both in the way that they're like, I don't know if you caught it this time around when you watched it, but they're both very much styled to be sharp, cold, very different from the women that we see at the magazine. So
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
predators.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. With a lot of the early aughts I've noticed have had these like predatory women.
Mhm.
And like Andy has real big, like, I'm not like the other girls energy. She loves the Knicks.
Well, that's the whole premise of the movie because they're like, "Well, this would never happen to someone who looked like you, Andy." Poor Catherine Hahn, who's like absolutely gorgeous, but they
I
like
love
make her frumpy for this film.
and don't even do a good job at it. When she's like, he dumped me because I'm fat. I was like, no, thank you, body dysmorphia, but no,
Not today.
not
This is
today.
not. Not
I
today.
love Catherine Hahn, and I do love Catherine Hahn in this movie. And I'm like, Catherine Hahn, get better friends. They keep like blaming you for your breakups.
100%. And I love her as when she plays the shrink. I thought that was a really
Oh my
good.
God.
That was a great scene where she's like, "Now that is a great idea, Benjamin.
Benjamin. I will
You owe me
also,
$300." No, she don't.
no, she
She
don't.
earned that $300.
I have already texted a friend today that the only thing that Benny Woo Woo Matthew McConaughey thought he had to do to make a woman fall in love with him in a week was what we call effort. He was kind and he cooked once.
Cooked once, and that was, like, the tip. That was, like, what did they call it? The whatever resistance. Like, this is the thing that I'm gonna do where she's
Right.
gonna fall wildly for me. I do appreciate the flip, though, where she's like, "I don't eat meat."
Eat me, even though he's seen her like wolf
Yeah.
down a hot dog at a basketball game. I'm like, men are so dumb.
Yeah.
Men are so dumb. You've literally watched me eat meat. You wa-
Yeah.
you took me to crab legs on our first date. You took me to crab legs. You watched me like just tear apart an entire crustacean,
Yeah.
and you're just up here believing me.
Yeah.
But I think that is the biggest misogyny of all is that like men literally think like I'll just be really patient and then she'll have to stay with me forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one else is going to like her personality, so I guess I will.
Yeah, you know what? They do a really good job at making her like, "I'm not like other girls."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't like that.
And I'm not even saying that like women can't like the Knicks or like politics, I guess, or whatever. It's just like it's so heavy-handed in this movie where it's like Catherine
Yeah.
Hahn is the rest of us peasants just out here making our online dates uncomfortable. and like Andy Anderson, I love that their names are like Andy Anderson and Benjamin like
Something with a B.
yeah, I meant to write it down. It's not Button, but imagine it was.
Could
Um,
you imagine?
could you imagine? But like, and then here walks in Andy Anderson with like her size 2 attitude and her beauty straight from Goldie Hawn herself. And she's like, have you ever just tried like being cool?
Have you ever
Have you ever just tried being fun?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever tried just being like sexy? Because by the way, the misogyny on her end is she literally thought, I'll give him blue balls once and then he'll be obsessed with me.
Right, right. Did you notice how she wore a lot of tube tops?
A lot of tube tops,
I
a lot
wasn't
of backless pieces.
a lot of backless pieces and a lot of tube tops.
Uh-huh. It was a
Um,
tube top like era.
yes, and it should never happen because, she looked naked a lot in the movie because of that.
She did.
But the other part of that too is, like, a lot of the things, like, when they were listing off all the things that are, like, really frustrating about, like, the dating game or whatever, and,
Hmm.
like, the things that women do that are, like, really bad, and Catherine Hahn's like, "What? What? I
What?
shouldn't do that?" Like, "Oh, yeah, I don't do any of those things either." It's like, there's a point where, like, depending on the type of relationship you have with somebody, like, those aren't necessarily bad things.
Yeah. I
I
would
meant
like
to
to
write them all down because I was like, I just feel like I
I
call
just
my
feel
best friend
like
and like we shoot the shit that way too. You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
just like stop shitting on the way people choose to have relationships with each other.
I would like to stick up for the spraying the perfume on the pillow.
Yes. Oh my god, I loved
That
that.
is a move that I've been told works, where it's like you want him to think about you every night before he goes to bed.
I
Rub your
mean,
lotion on his pillow when
it
you're
goes
in there.
it goes both ways because I know that this isn't your thing, Natalie, but for me, I do. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We've never had this conversation. I love when a man smells real
Oh, I
good.
love a good spelling man. Man, I just wish he was mute on the side. Just like adorable and smell good and be mute. I told you I got a really good hug from a dude on Friday, and I was like, "Oh, sometimes hugs are nice."
Yeah, sometimes hugs are nice. The other thing too about Benny, boo boo
Boo, boo,
woo,
woo, woo.
he's so cocky and sure of himself that it almost feels like he's the guy who's not good in bed because
They
he doesn't
both
have to
are.
try.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, but like I guess for maybe they're the same person. Is
they
that
are
the
the same
point?
person,
That is
yeah.
the point.
They're the same fucking person.
They're the same person.
Honestly, like, Matthew McConaughey is one of the only men who I'm like, "You should be confident." Like, you should remember when Matthew McConaughey went to, like, Congress or some political building that I'm not gonna know about, and he was like, "Guns are bad, and they're killing our kids," and I was like, "Oh, whew."
Yes, but also remember Matthew McConaughey quoting the Bible and talking about Jesus all the time? And
See, and that's
and
why we
why
can't put
he
the bi back in bisexuality,
and
like,
the reason and why his youngest is named what it's named is because Jesus told him to name him that?
listen,
So you
we
gotta
got
take the good
it's gotta
with the bad,
get be a give
good with
and
the bad,
take, it's
good with
gotta
the
be a
bad.
give and take.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not married to him, I just watch him sometimes. I am really upset. I know they did that Sahara movie that didn't do very well.
The gold one where they went and
Yeah,
found the gold?
it's not called Sahara? I thought it was
Listen,
called Sahara.
hold on.
I
I have
can literally picture the entire DVD case. I feel like it also has that dude from National Treasure in it.
where is it? How long ago was this?
Oh, it was so long ago.
It was after How to Lose a Guy, right?
Right. Because I feel like they should have been the new Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, and we should have seen them in every movie together
Why
for the
isn't
rest
it
of our lives.
I hold on. Fool's Gold.
Oh, Fool's Gold. What's the movie? I know that Matthew McConaughey was in a movie called Sahara or something, but maybe
Well,
she's not in it.
I hate to say it, but you know, if Kate Hudson wasn't Goldie Hawn's daughter, she's just like every other blonde petite girl.
See, I'm obsessed with her.
I that's fine. I just like I love her dynamic with her brother Oliver. I think they're really cute, but at the end of the day, and this is why sometimes I'm like we shouldn't have access to celebrities through social media. At the end of the day, I'm like girls' world is white and privileged and it is a
Yeah.
lot.
Penelope Cruz and Steve Zahn were in the Sahara movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, you got to it faster than me.
I
Thank you.
did. I can spell Sahara. Um,
And I do
and
love it when he does a rom-com,
I do too. I
except
even
for
like
Failure to Launch wasn't very
oh,
good.
I was just gonna say that I thought that that one was fine, even though Sarah Jessica Parker was in it.
Maybe it is good and I just kinda maybe I just was like because I don't like any of Sarah Jessica Parker's movies post Sex in the City.
Yeah. I will say that this movie is also one of those movies that like really upholds the patriarchy's like tried and true tool of pinning women against one another. Like those mean predatory ladies, the Jennies, were
Mhm.
just like, what if you dated that fat chick? What if you dated the weird one with the jewels on her face?
Yeah. I hate that shit actually. Um, because they do that and She's All That as well when they're
Mhm.
trying to pick somebody, Zach Seiler,
Yeah.
to make over. Um I do kind of hate well, and this isn't necessarily whatever, I'm just gonna say it. I hate the perpetuation that you can fall in love with somebody in 10 days.
Okay, so Meanwhile, the movie is called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but it's halfway through the movie where I'm like, it's been 4 days. And then I became wildly uncomfortable with all of the almost sex scenes
Mhm.
because I was like, wait, you're both lying to one another. No one
Mhm.
should be having sex in these conditions when she's like, a Benny boo boo hoo hoo. I'ma
Little
call
pet,
you
little
tomorrow.
pet, little
I'ma call you tomorrow. I'm like, get off of him. Uh-uh. I became
pet.
wildly uncomfortable. Now, by the time that they have the sexy sex in the shower, in the
Yeah.
very tiny shower,
Yeah.
I was on board. I was like, now you guys can have
Yeah,
sex.
because
You've
it's
had
like 9 days into the relationship at
well,
this
and they had
point.
like 2 genuine days together. So
Correct.
where all of the bullshit fell away.
Right. But they had to be removed. They had to be
Mhm.
removed from Manhattan and go somewhere else, Long Island in this case, to actually have any sort of real connection. And like, I don't know. I don't know.
I will say
Natalie, go
that
ahead.
those family scenes
Are
are some
so
of my
sweet.
favorite scenes in every rom-com.
Yeah.
It's like the Sandra Bullock, Betty White, like, bonfire dance in
Yeah.
the proposal.
In the proposal.
It's like, I'm not actually here to see if Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey are gonna bone. I'd like to see the old men play bullshit one more time.
Yeah, they were really sweet and really cute. And to see him in an environment where he's not like, because you know what it is? It's these guys who love their moms, and they have these really sweet moms that are super adorable and lovable, and just the you just wanna hug them and for them to be your mom too.
Mhm.
But for some reason, they turn out to be like, when they're removed from their mother, they're these like, "I'm so charming."
It's because they were raised with love. I believe that you and I would be way more confident if only we were raised with love.
My confidence died when my grandfather died.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
the one person who, never judged me for anything is now dead. This is great.
every shred of confidence I have, we can just chalk up to, like, the old people in my family being like, "You're beautiful, baby, and
Mhm.
you're a star."
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, anyone who wanted to pay for me to be a star, they were like, "Knock it off. No one wants to hear you.
Samesies.
I am Daisy Jones."
Except that in the book, they we
Does her
don't
mom not say, "No one wants to hear you," because that hurt me physically?
does not happen in the book.
Is her mom
They
kind?
her not necessarily kind, but she's definitely a prop. So, like, there's one of the biographers of Daisy Jones in the book talks about the reason why there's so many paintings of her is because she's so beautiful, and her parents are, in this artist community that they basically parade her out for
Mhm.
everyone to, like, paint her, because so they acknowledge that she's beautiful, but they never give her anything other than that.
Then I kinda like the "no one wants to hear you" line because it gives depth to that part of her story.
No, it doesn't, because that's not all of it. Like, when you read the stuff about her family, there's more nuance in the book than there is in the show. It's almost like they made her mom to be cruel just for cruel sake,
Mm.
whereas in the book, it's like all of these layers of, like, when you have artist parents, like, here's the neglect that can happen, and, like, how that can leave you feeling very empty and, like, wanting, and it's just ugh.
Uh,
Anyway, I'll watch the show regardless though, because Sam's hot.
Man, good for you, Finnick from The Hunger Games.
So is Warren. Warren's kinda cute. I'm not mad at Warren. Did you just vomit a little bit in your
Which
mouth?
one's Warren?
The drummer. The one that
Oh,
lives
yeah,
on the
it's
houseboat.
oh, yeah. No, I can't stand him. I can't stand Eddie either. I only like
Well, Eddie's supposed to
Billy and
be
the brother.
yeah, Graham, I do. I love Graham more in the book than I do on the show. Um, but Eddie is supposed to be a jerk, and in the book, his name is Eddie Loving, and his brother Pete is in the band also, and they removed that element. But whatever.
I have a conspiracy theory.
About How to Lose a Guy?
Uh-huh. If you ran How to Lose a Guy next to a very drawn out version of Taylor Swift's Blank Space, it is the same plot.
Oh, I'm into this.
And I know that because at Drag Brunch on Saturday, they did Blank Space. And it's my favorite Taylor Swift song because it's petty. Nice to
Ah,
meet you where you been. I can show you incredible things. That's night one with Andy.
yeah, that is night one.
So it's the magic sin, but I'm the king, baby, you're my queen, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like, find out what you want, be that girl for a month or 2 days. The worst is yet to come. Crying, screaming, perfect storm. Yeah. And she makes all the tables turn. It's
Yeah.
literally the plot.
Yeah.
I would like Taylor Swift to weigh in if she was, in fact, watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days while she was
When she was
writing
doing
Blank
it.
Space.
The other part of How to Lose a Guy too is like the blatant privilege that Andy has. Not just white privilege, but pretty girl privilege.
Oh, she has pretty girl privilege. All of those how-to articles. It's like the only reason Andy could talk her way out of a ticket is because she was a pretty little white girl.
Yeah.
Like, there's only one step, Andy.
Yeah, it's called crying. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, being pretty. It's the two
Ugh.
steps. But the point is the same. And then two, after she like yells at him or tells him that she doesn't eat meat and they go to that restaurant and she's like in the back kitchen with the guys watching the game.
And they've made her like a euro.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ben's slumming it up front with like barley.
And everyone thinks that he called his girlfriend fat.
Oh my God. So uncomfortable. Like,
Uh-huh.
at some point, I was like, why was this movie so fun when I was 14? And I guess it like really played into my sadistic of like, we should always be gaining the upper hand with men through Taylor Swift shenanigans.
Well, and two, it's like okay, so you said you were 14?
Yeah.
I was 19. So we're still impressionable enough because we don't have life experience yet. So
Hmm.
we don't know that that's not dating in Manhattan. We don't
Right.
know. I mean,
Or
I still don't know because I don't live anywhere near Manhattan, but I have done dating. So now I know like the things I'm like that's bullshit in dating. No,
I,
absolutely not. There's a red flag.
I literally think that I was Andy in my first relationship where it's like, I'll be sexy, so you fuck me. And then I was like, what if for the rest of our relationship, I tell you that you're hurting my feelings that I don't have because I'm dead inside?
Oh my gosh. Is it you? Are you the drama?
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. Yes, I'm the drama. And like that's the greatest part of to all the men I've tolerated before is it's literally just a journey of me stopping being the problem unless I'm
Yeah.
triggered.
Unless you're I mean, those things are real.
Listen,
Somebody
I was asked to name my own red flag on Friday,
yeah.
and I very much said, I was like, I'm petty as hell. And I go, and I will go from 0 to toxic if you deserve it. And because I'm so smart, I'm good at it. I will ruin your life. And like my friend was just like, and then her ex was like, me too, kind of though. I was like, yes, toxic forever.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I do love it.
But it's the patriarchy and misogyny that made me toxic. And that's why I still get to have a podcast and a platform.
Yeah, I was telling my mom the other day because she was telling me something, and I was like, "Listen, when somebody repeatedly asks you questions about what your decision-making process is and like what but in a way where it just doesn't feel like it's coming from a place of true curiosity, it sounds like it feels like it's coming like eventually you're just gonna be like, you know what, fuck you, I'm done.
Yeah,
Like stop. It feels like judgment,
it
so
feels
I'm
like
done.
judgment. So now I'm going to be petty.
Yeah.
I like, listen, I'm diabolical, as we know. I'm dangerous. Remember how I told you I was like I had to cool it on complaining about this one person, this one instance, because I realized that once I'm done with someone, I'm like, and now I'll destroy all of your friendships around me, so I never have to look at you.
Yeah.
Because I don't
That
want to
is
look at you.
that is pretty diabolical. I just removed myself. I'm just like, cool, you still want to be that person's friend? I am bowing out.
Oh, see,
Because I feel
I.
like if you still want to be that person's friend and
Mhm.
all of the red flags are there and now you're choosing to ignore them, then I don't really want to waste my time.
Yeah, but I'm so vain. I probably think the friendship's about me. I'm so vain.
Can we
I
get back
proud.
to talking about how white this movie is?
It's so white, except for the mean ladies.
And like the one guy at the poker game.
And the one lady who's really eager to do her job at composure that they hate. The one who
Yes.
went, it's scary, but exciting, or
Right.
whatever it was.
Right. It's like every person of color in this film can't actually doesn't get to exist. They're there as a prop, which is very 2003. I
Yes.
would like to see this movie remade with somebody else as the lead.
I would love to watch this movie be redone in like a very Gen Z manner
Yeah,
because
like
I would
who?
love
Not Zendaya.
Zendaya.
No, not Zendaya. I was gonna say Yara should how do you say her last name? From Blackish, Zoe from
Ooh,
Blackish.
yeah, 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 yeah,
She's
yeah.
so beautiful that I'm
And
like, I can't follow her on IG because I feel like I would just stare at her, which is wildly inappropriate.
she's the reason that I'm like, even though Gen Z keeps telling me I can be better, I can still be petty because of grownish.
Yes,
Because I'm like,
yes,
she petty as they come.
yes.
Me too.
But could you I mean, to see her in, like, a role where she gets to be the person with the upper hand
Yes,
and
she has
just
a very good it girl energy.
yes, her it girl energy is so strong, and she's just so charismatic and
Mhm.
just, like, stunningly beautiful. I need her in a rom-com.
Michael B. Jordan as Matthew McConaughey. Hey. Mhm,
Oh, I would be
mhm,
so into
mhm. I don't know why they don't hire me for movies. I got great ideas.
I love and he's hot. He's always
He's
hot.
hot.
I think he's gonna be one of those guys that's gonna
Do they
always
have
be
a
a hot
weird
right
age
now.
difference?
He's I think he's born in 87. What year
So
is
he's my age, and she's still playing college students, but
I
that
mean,
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Zendaya's 26 playing oh, so she's 23. Well, let's think about it. So Kate Hudson was 23, right? When
Yeah.
she did How to Lose a
Well,
Guy,
now I'm trying
right?
I don't because I don't perceive men. I don't know any 23-year-old men who aren't like Tom Holland.
How but let's put it into perspective though, because how old is Matthew McConaughey? Because Matthew McConaughey is now 53 years old. So he was 33 when he made this movie.
That man refuses to age.
No, I think you can see it. I was looking at him and I was like, gosh, he's still handsome, but I can see it in his face a little bit.
Yeah.
And Kate Hudson is 43.
Mhm.
So, 10-year
Yeah.
age gap. Michael B. I'm gonna actually confirm how old Michael B. is because that man is fine.
So, if we took out
Okay,
the
he's 36. So we would need to find an older. So then yeah, then pull a Zendaya because she also has, you know, charismatic energy
I
as
love
well.
Zendaya, as
And
we
then that
know.
would be the age gap that Kate and Matthew had.
Yeah.
Ow,
Because
shoot.
Zendaya has good it girl energy. Me, Zoe from Grownish, Zendaya, and Taylor Swift, we got great it girl energy. And Kate Hudson.
Give me a second. My dog is like death staring me to let her outside, which she knows it's showtime. I'm so sorry,
I thought
everybody.
you installed her a door.
Well, I have the slider shut
Got
because
it.
it was cold. So I apologize for being this person.
Well,
Just, rap about it.
just rap about it, Emily. Just like come up with a rap about me and the dog. And immediately the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song came into my head. You're like, rap about it. And I was like,
In
this is a
Westville.
story all about how
In West Philadelphia, born and raised. Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
this. But yeah, this is a story all about how. Which I need to watch the new season of Bel Air. It
yeah.
has aired, so I need to start watching that again.
Okay. So if we took out Benny's bet, like Benny just has no
Benny
skin in
Bunny
this
Boo
game.
Boo.
Benny boo boo woo woo. How long do you think he would have lasted? When do you think he would have been like enough is enough?
Well, that night at the poker game when he was like, "And we're done."
Okay.
You
I
don't think it would have been sooner?
I think it would have been way sooner. I think it's the night
The
at the
first
Knicks
night?
game where she purposefully makes him
This
miss
isn't
the winning game.
diet.
I think literally, here's the thing. Not that he's not justified, but men literally usually give zero shits about our needs.
Yeah.
So immediately, all I can see is Ben going into like a white man rage, like, I can't believe I miss the most important basketball moment of history because you were dying of thirst.
No, but I don't think that he would have done that if there wasn't a bet. I think he still would have been the guy who would have gotten her something, even though there was like a minute and a half left and there was no bet. Because again, I think he cares about his mother.
Oh, he
So
cares
he
about his
wants to,
mother.
because he's always, trying to meet the needs of the women he loves.
Well, which one is
So
it? Does he care about his mother or does he become a big dickhead once he's in the big city? You said both.
it's both, but I think because here's the thing, I think because this is the worst kind of guy in my opinion that I have dated, where it's like they have those moments of being very caring, right? So like he goes and gets her the drink, he's irritated that he missed it, but he still did it anyway because the woman he's on a date with, was thirsty and wasn't diet, even though she didn't say all these things. And I think that if that happens repeatedly, he would have eventually been like, you know what, bitch, this is fucking stupid. But I think the first time it's because they're new, because I think because it's new, regardless, bet or no bet, when you're in the beginning of dating somebody.
Oh, I think, see, I'm layering in the 2023 dating realm where it's like literally like I'll shop around, bitch. Like I'm like Andy's getting ghosted. Andy's getting ghosted.
I don't know,
He's
was
gonna go
ghosting
home.
even a thing in the 2003? I'm trying to think. I was dating a lot in 2003. I don't know if ghosting was a
I
thing.
don't think it was a thing. But
I had a
in
cell
today,
phone, but it was still like to get to the letters, you had to press them like
yeah.
47 times.
I literally think that in 2023, Andy pulls at a basketball game and he literally ghosts her.
Okay, so you're pulling it for 2023. I was still speaking as if it were 2003. But
Well,
if we're remaking this
I still
film,
think in 2003, he probably would have gotten her drink. But I think it would have been like the Seinfeld moment in the 90s where he's like, she has man hands. He's like, she's thirsty when it's inconvenient. And then it just embeds in his brain. And it like, because truly, that is like literally what I see happening. Like
okay,
you've done a weird non-misstep. You haven't been cruel. You haven't been mean, but
yeah,
you've had a Seinfeld moment as a woman, and then they literally make up all of these things about you. That's been
okay,
my experience.
okay. Hmm. I need to reconcile the fact that I did really live in pretty girl privilege up until about 2019.
I wish my pretty girl privilege got me further. I truly like I pulled a lot of shit off, and I still do with my pretty girl privilege. But like when it comes to like men not immediately being like, she's real loud and she thinks she's the funniest person in the room. Like it's the one thing that my pretty girl privilege can't
Can't
get
seem
me
to,
over. You
because
forget that a man watched me sob my eyes out as my family broke apart and then went, no, you're coming to the basketball game with me. I wouldn't enjoy it unless you're there. And then got mad that I didn't stand for the national anthem or cheer for anybody.
that's on him for sure. Because I have this theory that if I were able to lose the 70 pounds I gained in grad school, I would go back to being seen as like a valuable thing, getting
Really?
away with all kinds of shit. Yeah, because I got away with so much shit, being like pretty and
Yeah.
adorable. Um, and then it was like one day I was like, not because 70 pounds is a third grader.
Hmm.
Um, And you know, once that kind of, and I noticed when that happened, like I was getting treated differently, and I was like, this is odd. Why did I not get this thing? Because I have gotten these things before. So then about a year ago, it's like I have this theory that if I actually were to lose all the weight, I'd go back to being like having pretty girl privilege again.
Well, if it makes you feel better, over the weekend,
I need to deprogram from all the shit. Okay, that's what that is telling me.
I cannot remember the context that this happened because I had many a sugary drink on Saturday at drag brunch,
Ooh,
but I do
sugary
remember
boozy drink because that's the
uh-huh,
best kind.
slushy booze.
Oh, I love slushy booze.
Um, anyways, shout out to Yellow Cab Tavern for always knowing what I need, and it's a boozy slushy. Um,
Ooh, I love
I
that.
we're sitting with my friends. I cannot remember the context in which I said that, but I did say out loud, "No, I'm aware that I'm a Midwest 10, and when I move to California, I will be a 7." Like, I get it. I'm a Midwest 10. I know. You throw me in California, I'm a 7. My mind's gonna have to rectify that. But I'll go be hot in Portland, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Are
I
there
wish
hot
I
people?
remembered why I had to say it out loud that I'm a
Yeah, I
hot
wish.
girl. I do hot shit. Like
Don't get
I
in my way of my vibes. I do hot girl shit.
I would love to know why I had to throw out on the table, "No, I know I'm a hot girl."
Yes,
And
I
it
love
wasn't like
it.
an insecurity thing, like, no one tried to convince me that I wasn't a hot girl. I just
Right.
literally had to be like, "I'm hot, who remembers?
You remember?
Do
You
you remember?
remember?
Do you
You
remember?
definitely
Who
remember.
remembers?"
Yeah.
On Friday, I caught my friend texting her ex, our other friend, because it was so loud in the bar, but I wasn't included in the text. I was like, "You best be texting about how pretty I am."
I mean, I support that.
And then she texted her ex, she's like, "Doesn't Natalie look like fire today?" And he was like, "Always." I was like, "Thank you. Thank you. If you're gonna text in front of me, at least make it about how pretty I look."
Right. Duh.
But anyways, who knows? Who knows why at any point I had to throw down the gauntlet as to like, I'm hot, but I'm
You know,
realistic about my hotness.
I really feel like we should just be throwing that in all the time.
Yeah. Andy
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, because Andy does it, so we can do it too.
And I will say, for anyone who's listening who's like, she's not hot, my hotness is a mindset. Okay. I get pretty girl privilege because I walk into every room being like, I'm a hot girl. I do hot shit.
Don't get in the way of my hot girl shit.
And
Don't.
I come by it through genetics because on To All the Men I've Tolerated Before, we call my mother hot mom. And she's like, what does that mean? I was like, it means
Like,
you're a
you know.
hot girl. And she's
You
like, what does
know.
that mean? I was like, it means you do hot girl shit.
I
You're a
just feel
hot
like she's
girl.
playing dumb. I feel like she knows exactly what
Yeah.
she's
Because my mom
doing.
loves compliments just as much as I do.
Right, exactly. I will say too, the gal that plays her friend that's not Catherine Hahn,
Hmm.
Annie something or other. Um, she was around a lot in the early 2000s. Do you remember? How to Lose
No.
a Guy in 10 Days, Monster in Law, Definitely Maybe. I'm trying to think of like things I those are the 3 that stand out the most.
Wish she was more memorable.
Really?
I cannot picture her. I've seen all of those movies. I do not know what she did in those movies.
In Monster in Law, she's J-Lo's best female friend, the caterer.
Listen, my mom traumatized me right after Monster in Law because my mom still holds some like really deep seated like misconceptions about Jane Fonda and did not know I was going to a Jane Fonda movie.
Oh, that
So
was
I
her
got
comeback movie.
yeah, so I got grounded or at least yelled at. She's like,
Wow.
"I can't believe you and your friend Sarah snuck off to a Jane Fonda movie." I was like, "I don't even know who that is. I went to a J-Lo movie.
Right, right. I
I went
so
to a J-Lo movie."
that movie came out like not quite a full year after I had my child, but I had been enough into the sense of having a mother-in-law type person because we were not married. And there were moments in that film where I was like, so it's not just me? Like
Well,
this is an actual thing?
Like me in August Osage County with Meryl Streep just yelling at everyone over a Thanksgiving meal.
'Cause
I was
it's
like,
like there was, like, a point where when I was pregnant and this person was like, "I want the baby to call me mama." And
"That's
then
cute."
and then fast forward to Mother, a monster-in-law, and Jane Fonda's wearing a white dress to the wedding, and I was like, "Mhm,
Mhm.
this feels very much the same."
To back you up on the poker night, that was when my brain was actively going, "No, she is a nightmare. I would not date her. She is a nightmare.
She is
She
a
is
nightmare.
shrieking about a dead plant."
Which the fern didn't even look dead to me.
No,
Would you like to see a dead
it
plant? Because I have
I
2
have
that did
one
not
right
survive
here.
winter.
I have, like, one that's within an arm's reach.
Mine's not quite, or maybe it is because my headphones cord is long, but it's like there's no coming back. This poor plant did not survive winter. I'm so
You know,
sad.
I just moved a water bottle that's been on the shelf for a while, and the plant looks worse than I remember. So,
I was like, "Your love fern is not dead," which I guess maybe that's also the point of her,
yeah.
or,
She
in event.
As you know, I'm a very independent person, so should I be like, "I'm having a girls' night, girls and board games, baby," and you crash into my room with your fucking feelings and you're fucking like, "You didn't text me back that you love me," and your narcissistic bullshit.
Isn't it also a red flag to be, like, saying that you love someone after a handful of days, or is
Yes, it
that
is
just
a red flag.
me?
I've been trying to convince the world that intensity is a red flag.
Yeah, because I have friends I have a friend I've been friends with for at least 6 years. We figured it's at least 6 years. We don't remember how we met each other. I've known her for 6 years, and I finally, this year, finally started telling her I love her.
I will say that I tell friends, mostly because a lot of my friends are women and they're the only people I feel like I can have true intimacy with. So I
Mm.
do tell my friends often that I love them. However, that did get me fucking tripped up when I was secretly fucking one of my guy friends. And then I was like, love you, love you, love you. Shit. And ate it up like pudding. He's like, what are you gonna say? What you gonna say? What you gonna say? Because that was part of our sickness, where it's
Yeah.
like, how can we make the other one fucking uncomfortable enough about the fact that we're fucking? He's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You just told all these people in this room you love them and that
Yeah.
you hope. And I was like, see you on the flip side. And I just ran.
It's like that scene from Friends when Monica and Chandler are still in secret, and he kisses Monica, and then he has to kiss Phoebe and Rachel before he can leave.
and like, and also all of our friends, because like by secret, I mean I was telling all of our friends and he thought we were a secret. All of our friends knew we were fucking,
New
so they're just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
they're like, oh, this is real fucking cute, Namely. You a little bit sugar silly. And you just being like, I love you. I love you. Fuck.
See, and I'm the person, like, my best friend and I were having this conversation the other day because I ran into a situation that I told you about offline that I'm not gonna repeat on the live, where when I'm a very loving consumer of alcohol. If I'm
Hmm.
feeling warm and fuzzy on the inside, I'm feeling warm and fuzzy on the outside. And I have zero inhibitions to be like, this is a bad idea when it
Right.
comes to like physical affection and attention. And which is not a thing that is good when there are predators in the world. And so, which is why I no longer get buzzed in public or with people, or unless I have someone who will like rein me in, which is not their responsibility to rein me in, but someone who knows, right? Like there's that shared, like we understand
Hmm.
anyway. And so I'm that person who's like, everybody is my best friend. Who's
Let
making
me
out
tell you about my
first?
best friend. It's everybody in this room. Let me
Mhm.
tell you about my best friend. Couldn't name them if I tried.
Yes, it's 100%.
I like
Oy.
I like to think that I made best friends with one of the performers on Saturday because she came out in like this beautiful brown fake fur shawl, stole thing, whatever you call them, and it was to Shania's "From This
Oh, I love that.
Moment, Life Has Begun." I sing the entire time at drag brunch, and if you don't fucking like it, don't come with me because I'm like, number one, I'm also dressed like maybe I'm part of the show and you're
Yeah.
just confused, but I'm in a full themed outfit. I
Yeah.
have glitter all over my body.
I love that.
And so she clocked me just like going for the song while watching her because she was so beautiful. And she like pointed at me and then I pointed at her. And my friends were like, "Should we leave? Do you want us to clear the bar?" I was like, "Maybe I do. Maybe I do."
We're
I
having
love
a
a
moment.
Shania moment.
We're having a moment to Shania.
Excuse me.
Thank
I
you.
love a Shania moment.
Yes.
Excuse me. I love a Shania moment. God.
I love that.
I love it. I love drag brunches, and I will take my pretty girl privilege to drag brunch as long as it's legal because God knows when they'll take it from me in Ohio.
Well, that's sad, I know.
Fuck
California's
you,
expensive,
Tennessee. I'll
but
just say it. Fuck you, Tennessee.
right? I was like, California's expensive, but so far. I mean, they don't do everything right, but they haven't done anything stupid like that.
Yeah. Well, fuck you, Florida. Um Florida's a wild, wild, lawless place.
It's interesting. Florida
Um,
is actually really scary right now.
so besides the love fern,
Yeah, the love fern.
were there any of the things that Andy did that you were like, these aren't actually red flags, these are just things that women do?
Um, I wish I had written them down because I said that there were some things when they were listing off to start the challenge that I was like, those things didn't bother me. Now I'm drawing a
I will
blank.
say, if they had been 2 to 3 months into their relationship and she had started taking tampons there to store up, I'd be like, "That's smart." 4 days in and you haven't, like, fucked him yet, I'm like, "Maybe your tampons don't have to be here."
See, and I don't necessarily agree. I'm like, because I'm also the girl who has tampons everywhere. So, because I don't like to carry a purse.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But I do think the bedspread was a little much.
The entire redecoration of his entire fucking
And like
apartment.
the stuff, like, I mean, I
And
still
a
have stuff.
signed photo of herself, which I'm gonna start doing. Everyone's getting a signed photo from me.
I love that. And like okay, I will this is a thing that did freak me out a little bit. The book with
Oh,
what our kids will look like.
my family, when it then gets revealed that his mom was in on it, I was like, "Absolutely not." My entire family would be on some thread making fucking fun of you.
Same.
Yeah. My
'Cause,
entire like,
I have to remind my siblings when they bring partners into the family fold that we are a very difficult family to win over, and not because we think we're better than everybody else and that everyone's so lucky to be a part of our family, but because my parents are not warm and fuzzy.
uh-uh. My family is just fucking sarcastic as fuck. So
Yeah.
we're gonna lean into this bit and we are going to destroy you. That's how we're toxic. And so
Yeah,
like,
so, that and then also not warm and fuzzy.
oh, our family is warm. We'll kiss you on the mouth if you're not looking.
Yeah, no, not us. Like it's um my I had never met my cousin's mom's mom before
Mhm.
until my grandfather's 90th birthday 23 years ago. And my entire life I heard about how and I'd never met this woman before, but my entire life I had heard about how my uncle's wife, current wife, they got married in 87, so I was 3, is not my real aunt because she is not the mother of my cousins. But the woman I've never met before and have never
That's
seen
my aunt.
before I turned 16.
That's my aunt, man. Ride or die. Ride or die.
I was
Uh,
like, so you're immediately set up for failure in my family when that's the logic.
literally ride or die. Um, no, my family, like, number one of us would have had to have taken like a sneaky photo of it. Then it would have been passed around, and then,
Yeah.
like, you would have just heard it on the wind, everyone
Yeah.
talking shit about it. because it
Yeah.
is creepy.
It's
It's
creepy. And
creepy.
then intentionally designed creepy looking
Yeah.
children.
And then if a man had done it, we would have been on a Netflix murder
Oh. Oh,
documentary.
but first they would have been, "Oh, look at how sweet he's planning for the future."
No. I need everyone to start contacting me about whether or not you think things are red flags.
Right.
Because I'm so tired. I'm just, like, so tired walking this world and being like, "Don't you realize that that's a red flag?" And they're like, "What? That he loves me so much?" And I'm like, "No."
And not like the bullshit that we did in job interviews 20 years ago where it's like, "What are your weaknesses?" Perfectionism? It's not that kind of shit. That's not the shit she's
No,
talking about.
no. Fucking red flag. Andy had like, listen,
I think she even had red flags before she started the whole bet too.
yes. Yes. My, as you know, my therapist has wondered if because I'm the oldest daughter, I was raised a little masculine. So I have like big dick energy when it comes to dating. And like, if you're a fucking weirdo and you're just like coming over and like sneaking things into my home or whatever, I'm like, who the fuck gave you the fucking nerve
Here's
to touch
another
my
level of
things?
pretty girl privilege. She gets a key from the super.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Like,
murder waiting to happen.
uh-huh. And for me, because I'm so like, I don't like having people in my space unless I've invited them into my space. That would have been a whole thing of like, and listen, I need you to give me that key back. Also, I'm changing the locks. I'm not telling you.
Right. Because it's been 5 days.
Mhm. Yeah, think about how many times you've dated and you're like, this person, we're not, I'm not ready for this person to know where I live yet.
Yeah.
I just met you. Like they met in a bar. That's the thing. It's like you met in a bar, which is like the number one thing of like, this is an absolute stranger. There's been no vetting whatsoever. It's not like your friend set you up on a date. So that way there's a little bit of vetting. No, this is a complete and total stranger from a bar.
Can we talk about how I before I slept with this man, had known this man for 6 years. He
Okay.
came to my college to visit me on his motorcycle. He's like, "Do you wanna take the bike to dinner?" And I was like, "Fuck no, I don't wanna take the bike to dinner. I know you. You're fucking reckless." Like,
Yeah.
I'm not you want me to just trust my bodily safety on you in this flimsy ass like, helmet and you and your, like, manic moment?
Yeah.
No. And she just, like, immediately was like, "I guess I'll wear the helmet and I'll be cute." And I'm like, "Don't get on that bike."
And like,
Uber.
yeah, well, it wasn't a thing in
Wow.
2003.
I don't know. Then I don't know.
But the point is the same. I too have dated people who ride motorcycles, and all of them have been, no, you don't get to be on the back of my bike because if something happens, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Da 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 da. And I grew up around motorcycles. My dad rode motorcycles up until he couldn't anymore. Um, and so like that is it's like whatever. But when they're in Long Island and he's like teaching her how to drive the motorcycle, and I was just like, is this supposed to be
On a
sexy?
boardwalk.
Is this
On,
supposed to
like,
be
literally,
hot?
like, where people are getting gelato.
Yeah, because this is not hot. This is not sexy. He doesn't have a helmet on. It was kind of sexy when he like ran up and jumped on the motorcycle to catch
Yeah.
up with her. But other than that, no, please don't, because you're in a space with pedestrians, and she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Right, it's a motorized vehicle. Just on a fucking boardwalk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I knew that man throughout my entire adolescence. And then one day had him inside of me, and I never rode his bicycle or his motorcycle.
Might as well have been a bicycle though, right?
I mean, honestly, and he's like, "Do you wanna get on it?" "No, I don't wanna get on it. I know you're reckless. I know I don't have good taste." Like, I'm very aware of my circumstances
I
here.
I understand that. I have terrible taste, so this
I
is
I
not a thing we will be doing.
at this point, I'm a little more self-aware of how broken I am. So no, I don't think my head needs to be the next thing that hits the pavement.
Do they have
Alright.
helmet, like, laws in Ohio or
Oh, I'm sure they
Indiana?
do.
Because
I'm
we
pretty
have
sure we have it for bicycles even.
yeah, I was gonna say, we have pretty strict helmet laws here, and people get, like, all huffy and puffy about them, and I cannot tell you how many people I've seen injured, from motorcycles, and not even accidents, just like not like vehicular accidents, but just like legitimate, like, oh, we bumped something in the road and this person flew off the back of the bike because they, whatever, physics. And then, seeing that happen pre motorcycle helmet
Mhm.
laws. And I mean, I was like 8 when I saw this one particular accident that I'm thinking of right now. It haunts me
Yeah.
still. And it's like, and I
I
wasn't even involved in that. I was like a bystander,
I and you know what? Come at me. Just like the Titanic, I don't understand the fucking point.
of
Like,
motorcycles.
yeah, number 1, we're keeping, like, kids in booster I told my sister, I was like, "You know that kid's gonna have to be in a booster seat until he's fucking 14 now." Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "How dangerous are cars that we're keeping kids in booster seats until they're 17?" Like, I'm like and now you're just like, "What if we took out all of the casings that surround you in a car and just make you go vroom, vroom on a motorcycle?" No.
Yeah.
No, my dad was talking about a cruise. I was like, I watched Titanic recently, and there's no reason for boats to be that big. There's
Yeah.
no reason.
No, none.
They're rebuilding the Titanic, I heard, and they're gonna
What?
do one trip through the Atlantic where she sunk. I was like, why you wanna be haunted?
I just feel like that's tempting fate.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's doing.
I
That's
don't like
like that's like
this.
trying to, like, get one past the Old Testament God. Like, maybe he won't know. He real chill now.
What is wrong with people?
I wish I knew.
Did,
I don't know.
was this the idea of a white billionaire?
I'm sure. I'm sure. And then you
Yeah.
know what? Send him to space
Build the Titanic
and
as a
then send it
spaceship.
to space.
Make it so it can be a ship and a spaceship. Dual purpose.
Send him to space and then leave him there.
Leave them there. It's fine.
Leave them on the moon.
Leave them on the moon. Money's not real anyway, so and then liquidate all of their assets.
Was there anything about Ben that was part of the like the bet that you were like, "No, that's probably genuine," or like, no, that was fucking fake as hell."
Like him interacting with
Yeah,
Andy?
because he got the easier part of the bet. He just got to date.
I think their very first date, he was, into it and like not really trying very hard,
Yeah.
right? He could just exist. But here's the thing, Natalie. Guys like Ben are my kryptonite.
Yeah, because 'cause they're charming and Southern.
Hmm. The whole time I'm watching this movie, I was like, I just need a little bit of a Southern guy who maybe has a hint of a cowboy, but doesn't believe in any of those politics.
Yeah, no,
That would fucking murder me, and I would be his forever.
I'm still real kinky for some Gambit and Rogue from the X-Men. Is that
Yes.
I like the Louisiana drawl from the
Mhm.
Bayou.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
because not all Southern accents are created
They
equally. So
they
there
all
are
they ain't all cute.
they
They
absolutely
ain't
not.
all cute.
Same with like if there were a black man with a very specific type of British accent, and I'm still trying to pinpoint the location because I've seen several actors with that
Where's
accent.
Idris from?
Idris Elba. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. But it's like so I was telling my friends, like, if there was a black man who had this very specific type of British accent, his forever. He could be the worst man in the world,
Yeah,
but
there's
it
nothing
beautiful with that accent. And I would just be like,
yeah, there's nothing more gaslighting than a good accent.
honestly. So those are my kryptonite.
Because everything you
The
say sounds
southern little,
fancy.
yeah, the little southern, and then the little British. So this is why I'm single. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I thought the love fern could have been cute. Adopted I felt so bad for the dog at some point. I was
The
like, "Who
dog.
brought this tiny little dog into this?"
You know what? That actually would have made me feel very uncomfortable if I were in that situation because
Uh-huh.
that is different, obviously, than a plant. But then it's like you have this very dependent creature.
And then she left it with him.
Yeah,
She's like, "This is our dog." And by our dog, I mean your
your
dog.
dog.
And I got you an ugly dog on purpose.
with its frosting.
With
Just a
its
little frosting.
Just a little frosting.
Oh, it's just a little frosting.
Frost
Frost
yourself.
yourselves.
Frost yourself. Go frost yourself. I'm kind of
Ladies of
pissed.
Manhattan, go frost yourself.
I'm kind of pissed that like Andy didn't throw it back at him when they were fighting in the street. Go frost yourself.
This is why we need an updated version. We should
Yeah,
write that. That's what we need to do in our Friday
Zendaya
meetings.
would
Is we should
totally
just
tell someone to go frost themselves.
That's our new project. An updated version of 10. How to lose a guy in 10 days.
I will say that I'm still fucking blown away by that yellow dress. It's a very striking dress.
And you know what? You could drop that into 2023 and it works.
Yeah, with that giant ass diamond.
Mm-hmm. What was it? The Isadora.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to pinpoint one of the gray areas of misogyny.
Oh, okay. Tell
So
me.
you've got Benny Boo Boo.
Benny Boo Boo.
Benny Boo Boo Woo Woo. There's your drinking game, everybody. A Benny Boo 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 Boo. It's like a waterfall. You have to drink until we're done. Benny Woo Woo. Anyways. He's trying to take those women's jobs where I'm like, fucking white men. But then those women were only given the case or the like client or whatever by another white man because they're like, he likes them legging. And I'm like, fuck you too. Go frost yourself.
Go frost yourself.
I don't know if those women are capable. All I know is that they're mean. But I'm sure that they have more talents than being a little bit leggy.
Yeah. It is kind of gross too to give somebody an account based on their gender when it's coming from, a cis het man.
Yeah. Did you see that TikTok of a woman who accidentally got to hear the guys who were her marketing firm's client?
And
they were like, they were basically just
it was the
going
Teams
on.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just talking about how hot she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she had to be like, no. That's
I would like
no
a woman.
for me.
Yeah. She was like, I would like a woman, right? Didn't
Yeah.
she say, if I choose you, I'd like a woman on my account? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, you're right. We're so sorry. Like this was inappropriate, but you still did it.
But
and you're probably still gonna do it again.
Right.
Because you're
Morons.
only apologizing because you got caught.
Because you got caught. And I think that's always an important distinction, ladies. Is he going to change, or did you just tell him something that he didn't like about himself?
Right.
So now he's lying to you.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. All right. I have one more. Oh, go for it.
As the other thing that is also, and I don't think we agree on in necessarily in this regard, but like it just fundamentally, but like the other thing too, when he's like really good with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing that I'm just like,
oh no, I love daddy. Yeah, there's nothing. I told my mom today that like I love watching men interact with really little babies just because I find it very comical.
Mm-hmm.
And so I truly hope that when my sister brings the baby to my mom's house, that all of my giant uncles come so I could just watch them like hold the baby in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
Like it's just us and the baby.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, being good with also her just like being real, like, oh, he got you. I was like, why haven't you seen a child before?
Yeah. Andy, are you an only child who was raised by disconnected parents?
Right. Are you okay?
Are you okay, Andy?
We needed more on that. They kind of go into it in the bathroom. And I was like, I would like to know all of the ways that Andy isn't okay.
It's like the movie is from the man's perspective.
Oh my God, is it in the male gaze?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, but it was written for women.
Oh.
It's almost like media plays a role in the misogyny and the patriarchy that we've learned to accept. It's weird. It's so weird.
I just don't know anymore. It's like you weren't there when we were talking about it. I'm sorry that you missed it. But it's like, all these things that I kept saying that were quote redeeming about Billy was
Uh-huh.
how he really did just like choose his family. And, the show isn't doing a good job in my opinion. But he doesn't have a good role model, and yet he's still choosing to try and like make an effort to like be a good dad and be involved and be there for his family. And I just fucking love that.
Yeah.
And then the support that he receives throughout whenever he is feeling like he can't stay sober. And there's these few men that show up in his life that are like supportive in his journey, in the sense of like they encourage him to stay on course rather than being like, fuck that bitch, you do what you want, you're a rock
You're a
star.
rock star. I will say that Billy and the Daisy Jones and the Six Show is a little bit of a fuck.
Yeah. You mean like a fuck boy?
No, he's just like a fuck. He's just like pinning Daisy against the wall and being like, "Hey, I know you're not in love with your husband because I know what you look like when you're in love." I was
Yeah,
like,
that's that shit doesn't happen in the book.
I was
And
like,
that
that's
makes
some real fucking Lucas Scott energy.
Yeah, it's they totally take the nuance of Billy being a complicated character away, and like they really do uphold a lot of stereotypes with Daisy and Billy's dynamic in the show. And it bothers me because one of the things that I think that I love so much about the book is that you have this man who is trying, he has no idea. Remember, the patriarchy is bad for all of us. And so, he's trying so hard. And then the thing that he recognizes is that Daisy equals death, because he doesn't necessarily see that he's in love with her right away, but he sees that she's having a good time.
Just having a
And
good fucking
he
time.
wants to be a part of that good time, but he knows if he does that, he will die.
I will say that, oh no, I fucking lost it.
So it's
Oh,
that it's not even will they, won't they? It's
yeah,
that I know I can't even engage because this
yeah.
is bad for me. And we don't see that in what we see is what they're giving us. That's the shit we see all the time that they're giving us. I fucking hate it.
Well, no, it's giving me big, this is what I wanted to say. It's giving me big tell me lies energy
Uh-huh.
where it's like we're toxic, but it's hot.
Yeah. And
And
and and
people are masturbating to it.
oh,
That people are like, that Billy man, I want him to choke
totally.
me against a wall.
Totally. And then there's a part in the book where, because he's not even present for that scene in the shower.
Mhm,
That happens in Italy, and he's back home with his family. And so for Daisy to wake up in the book and realize that she really could have died,
mhm.
and all Nico did was
Flee.
he didn't even flee. She wakes up and he goes, "Oh, good, you woke up." And she has this moment where it's like, for all the drugs that we took, that's all you have to say?
Oh, good, you
And
woke
so she
up.
realizes on her own that this is bad. This is not okay. What am I doing? I have to get out of here. And that's so empowering for her. But in the fucking TV show, they have Billy sitting there holding her, crying, don't call now, do all these things. And then she wakes up and it's like, oh, Billy saved me. I hate that shit,
Yeah,
Natalie.
there's some real big tell me lies energy. Um,
Thank you for letting me have that rant.
you're welcome. I have one final question before we get to our comfy question.
Yes, I'm here for it.
We cut from the movie. The movie goes to black. Credits roll. And then we see a credit scene 1 year later. Are Andy and Benny still together?
No.
Because they're the same person and they've annoyed the fuck out of one another?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we would love to believe that they are, but absolutely not. She wants to be a real journalist.
Listen, she wants to go to DC.
She wants to write about politics and religion.
And she can't do that from Manhattan, like another giant hub of the world. I'm so confused when she's like, I have to go to DC. That's the only place they care about politics.
And
What?
religion.
And religion.
It's like, girl, what are you going to write about in politics? We all know that you are privileged and white.
Listen, she wrote that article, 10 Ways to Care About the Middle East or something.
I was like, that is such, like, could you be more any privileged?
Do
Oh,
you
here comes
know
a white girl solving all of the Middle East's
do
problems.
you know Andy if Andy was in, like, the year 2020, she's behind the blackout photo on Instagram.
Honestly.
That's Andy all over it, like, "I know what we'll do."
Yes. She's like, that's a great idea.
And this really great idea
In
about
solidarity.
solidarity of all of the women who have been kidnapped. We'll black out our Instagram photos. It's activism. Have you heard of it?
It's called activism. Look it up.
Some listen, they might be together for a year because I bet you the sex is hot and they're
No, because he's
morons.
hot and she's hot. So that sex is boring as fuck. They've never had to try.
You right. Have you ever been probably not. Have you ever been with a Midwest 10 who really feels like he doesn't have to try? But you're like, "Baby, you need to try."
I have dated my fair share of very, very, very hot men.
Uh-huh.
Like, I am very proud of some of the list that I have, okay? And I would say that 2 of them were a waste of time physically. So out of all the men, which I don't even know, I don't have a number I'm gonna share because I've never thought about my number. There's only 2 that were memorably bad.
Well, that's good. And to all of you Midwest 10s out there that I fucked, do you see how I'm not giving compliments? 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You think you can solve 'em.
Are you dying over all of the clips going on around social media?
So Stephanie and I are avoiding clips because we've decided that they're spoilers.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, we wanna see her outfits in real time on the jumbotron.
Oh, I love
But
that.
we might
My
be buying
cousin's kid went to opening night.
yeah, we might be so I've planned 4 outfits. I might need a costume change
I support a costume change.
because I'm gonna have to tailgate and go out to dinner and actually be in the concert. I'm like, "How do I make this 12-hour day also a place where I've physically changed in Stephanie's car 8 times?"
Yeah, I support it. I'm here for a costume change.
And then we might be getting a disco ball and a bubble machine because we wanna be the coolest people at the tailgate.
I love that. I love
No,
bubble
it's gonna
machines.
be a fucking event. It's gonna be a fucking because now we got bad blood. Maybe I'll dress like Andy from 10 Things How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and people won't get it. I'll be like, "Have
Dude.
you guys ever thought about how to lose a guy in 10 days is the same?" Like, I just bring a sign.
Yes.
It's
Taylor,
the
were you
same
inspired?
plot. It's the same plot.
Taylor, were you
It's
inspired?
just a picture of the blank space, music video, and a picture and the, like, DVD cover of How to Lose a Guy, and it's just, like, an equal sign with, like, same plot scrawled over it,
Yeah.
like like a serial killer.
I love that. No, but do it in letters cut out from magazines.
Oh, also, I have to start making friendship bracelets.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes. 'Cause now we got
Yeah.
blah, blah. But, yeah, Midwest Towns, did you see how I didn't throw out any compliments about how you did or did not dick me down? Alright. Were there any lasting points that you wanted to bring up?
Yes, this is the first time I've seen it in its entirety from the beginning, and I don't know how long, because when it's on TV, I just tune in whenever, wherever, whatever spot it's
Mhm.
at, I'm tuned in, and it's probably the Knicks game. That's usually where I come in on the TV. So I forgot how boring the beginning of the movie
It's
was.
2 fucking hours long. Because as you know, I watched it in 10-minute increments
Yeah.
while I was supposed to be working. When I paused it at one point, and it was after the big blow up, their big fucking fight, I went, "How do we still have 30 minutes?
Yeah.
What could take 30 fucking minutes from here?" I
Yeah.
thought it ended at the big fight. I thought it was a big fight, write the article, be on a motorcycle headed to DC. That's a
Yeah.
7-minute journey.
Yeah.
We still have 30 fucking minutes.
So here's our pitch. Redo it, starring
Redo it.
Michael B, Zendaya, or Yara.
Yeah.
Shorten it to an hour and a half because that's all we really fucking need. And maybe remove the misogyny.
Maybe. Or
Maybe just think about it or
some
actually fucking do
sprinkles.
it.
Maybe some sprinkles so women just remember that men ain't shit.
Yeah.
What if that's the moral of our How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? We're just like, remember, they're bad at everything.
They're bad at everything.
Number one, I felt like lamb. I'm just going to say it. Lamb is a really fucking bold choice to surprise someone for dinner with because not everyone likes lamb.
Not everyone likes lamb, and here's the thing. As a person who does like to eat lamb, sorry. You if you don't have somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, that shit ain't good.
No, it's not good. And he made the jelly sauce, and I'm sure if people liked lamb, they would have liked his. I don't like lamb. I don't like the gamier meats.
So I have a
It does
theory.
weird things to my palate.
So if that's so they're not cooking the lamb right because it shouldn't be gamey.
Morons.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, real fucking bold.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, well.
I will say her choice of
The
doing baby
talking.
voice.
The baby talking. I was like, why did I think that this was so fucking funny? I mean, it's funny when we do it. Everything we do is hilarious. But I thought that this movie was so fucking funny when I was 14. Stephanie and another friend of ours went to like a Bahamas or Jamaican vacation or whatever, like all-inclusive karaoke night, performed You're So Vain.
Yeah.
Not in the way that it's intended, but from the movie.
I love it.
Like, we knew this movie beat from fucking beat.
That's the best.
And I'm like, why? Was I a moron or was media just not good? A League of Their Own was good.
A League of Their Own was good.
Now and then, good.
Good. Also good.
Everything that like happened during my horny years, bad. Titanic. I mean, Titanic is like a visual masterpiece.
Yes, visually stunning. The costumes are beautiful.
Also, I do believe that it makes you feel as tense as you're supposed to feel when the fucking Titanic is going down.
Yes.
Is it any Top Gun Maverick, though? I'm not sure.
That beach scene, though.
Away.
The only reason to watch Top Gun Maverick is that beach scene.
That's the only reason to watch the fucking original Top Gun.
Honestly.
Who wants to watch Tom Cruise in a plane?
Nobody.
Tom Cruise isn't cool. Okay, where's Shelley?
You know what I love also about Top Gun Maverick is how when the guys start fighting, I know you haven't seen it, but there's a scene where like the pilots start like fighting and then
I
like
hate
Tom
Miles
Cruise
Teller. Does he get punched in the fucking face?
No, but then like Tom Cruise like gets in the way to like, oh, do, and you see how short he really is.
They forgot his lifts.
They forgot because Miles Teller and Jay Ellis, they're probably 6 feet tall, and like Glenn Powell's probably 5'10".
I think I hate Miles Teller because he looks like a short man, but he's tall.
Yeah, so then like here comes Tom Cruise, and he's like trying to break in, and he's like, here comes Tom Cruise right here, and all the guys are like, Tom Cruise. Like Tom Cruise.
Hold on, guys.
You can't deny it now. You are a short man. We have actual evidence and proof.
You know who was short but pulled it off was Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, he totally pulled it off. And
short king Patrick Swayze.
He was fucking sexy.
He was fucking sexy. He could dance.
I was gonna say I would not turn down Patrick Swayze. R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P. All right. Well, I think the time has come.
Yeah.
What is your comfort level with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
It's not the best, but I'll probably still watch it when it's on TV.
I think their chemistry is so electric that I'm still turned on by it. Just like
the bathroom scene's hot.
Yeah, maybe I just watched the second half of the movie or only the parts where she's normal because she drives me crazy as the
Yeah.
alter ego.
Yeah, you watch the Knicks game,
Yeah.
and then fast forward to when they go to Long Island.
Yeah. It's a perfect movie.
Fixed it.
I will say that, like, all of the, like, jokes and the comments that they make about her, like, complete personality change, I was like, "This is really insensitive to people with mood disorders,
Correct.
to those of us who are some days really fun and some days not."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "What a fucking insensitive movie to people who actually have mood disorders." It reminded me of that episode of Modern Love where Anne Hathaway is portraying a woman
That
with bipolar disorder.
Yeah, that episode was intense.
Yes, I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, "Andy is emulating her, and it's rude and kinda ableist."
Yeah, and the other thing about it too, it's stuff like that that's made me realize that I really am trying to not describe things as crazy or insane because it's not okay.
Yeah. I wish I was doing better, but it's something about, like, the way that language is so fluid that I'm
Yeah.
like, sometimes words mean 2 things because we live in America. They won't give
Yeah.
us different words for
You
things.
No, you're right, but I think for me, because I have so many people in my life who do have diagnosed disorders,
Mhm.
and I see how hard it is for them when people make assumptions based on things and then use those terms like crazy or insane when they're
I try to
describing
not
something.
I don't direct them to people anymore. It's like an event, like,
Yeah, like a
"Wow!"
situation, not people. Yeah,
Or a
that's
way I'm feeling, like, "Cool."
yeah. I think that's a good start, right? Like
Like, that's
stop
my
directing it towards
delineation.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm pretty still comfortable with this movie. Like, I feel like the misogyny in it didn't make me gag. She drove me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I don't like it when I hate women in the movie, and I'm like, "Stop fucking talking.
Yeah.
Just stop talking."
Yeah.
Jules, tell them what's happening for you.
All right. Excuse me. All right, pals. As a reminder, I'm Julia Washington, the host of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of research, under, and sometimes both. I said that really fast. This week, we are dropping an episode about the Parenthood TV show with
Ooh,
guest Carly Adams, where we are discussing the wealth of Camille Braverman through her property living in Berkeley. Because that shit has probably cost worth millions of dollars. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks
there
ago,
was a
or
White Lotus?
2 weeks ago, we did the White Lotus teaser. So when you join Patreon, you will get the full episode. Also, if you join Patreon, if you're watching this replay and you can join Patreon by March 31st,
Mhm.
2023, if you join the Best Friends Club level, you will get a free gift. After March, if you try to join April 1st, 2023 or after, this offer is null and void.
That's right. Because we told you.
Because we told you. And then starting next in 2 weeks,
No, a week from
a
tomorrow
week from tomorrow, we're going to Madison Avenue to talk about season 5 of Mad Men over on Instagram.
and Don Draper's dick.
Sure.
If you're feeling randy.
We're feeling a little randy. I'm
Well,
more into like that silver fox,
oh my god, I love me some Roger
Roger
Sterling.
Sterling.
Is
Oh.
this the season where him and Joan just have the one moment in the alley because she's a married lady?
I think well, she's a married lady and her husband's a fucking asshole. I
An
think it is
asshole.
this season, but we'll find out. And you will too if you join us on Instagram. Tuesdays, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. I'm really proud of myself for remembering that.
And everyone, I'm Natalie Katona, your host of To All the Men I've Tolerated Before. Last week, the lovely, the gorgeous, the ever-essent Annie Sieg was on the show to talk about gatekeeping in the art world because she is a true artist out of Chicago. And I've only talked to her on the show about my own body issues and reality TV. So, what a shame.
What a
And
shame.
this week, Darcy Darko is back because she contacted me via the DMs or a text message and was like, "Hey, would you like a little update on how the misogyny I was experiencing in the world of wrestling actually got worse. And it's like, of course.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I can't wait to hear that.
Yes, so that comes out on Thursday, and then next week will be a little bit of a teaser. It'll be more Annie because she's the teaser. It's our first attempt of talking about reality TV, and then we decided to actually do an episode to the format of the show. So,
Love it.
everybody, that's been Still Comfy for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I hope you stay cozy, stay comfy, and we'll see you next week on Madison Ave. Is it Ave?
Yours sure.
Sure.
You're so vain. You
You're
probably
so
think this song is
vain.
about you. Don't you?
Don't you,
Don't you?
don't you, don't